everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of Neverwinter Nights 2, Mask of the Betrayer! Last episode, we made our way into the Academy of Shapers and Binders here. Started looking through a bit and spoke with Master Jaffe here, the one person who is guaranteed to be our ally, though there are two others who might help us a bit. Found out that Sophia's mother is dead and Ahriman is apparently trying to get to the Founder. We may find more information on why we have this curse in Sophia's mother's tower, but we need to do more looking around, so we'll do what we can. That said, we also have this Master Inaris here, who I believe we can speak with. May I be of assistance, Spirit Eater? Yes, I wanted to ask about Nephris. A terrible casualty for the Academy to lose its headmistress. I don't know what she did to cross Ahriman, but it was a tragic mistake. I have heard that she put up an incredible fight when he and the Academy Masters came for her in their tower, but there was little she could do once Ahriman had consolidated his strength. Do you know what she might have been doing just before she died? I haven't the slightest. A very private person, Nephris. I believe in respecting people's privacy. Frankly, it's been a rarity in recent days to even see her come out of that tower of hers, a captive by her own will. Okay, I guess that's it. No further information. Well, at least, thank you for the undead that we could consume. Well, let's take a look in here and kill these dread braves. Couldn't do it in good remains. Let's see, a crate here with Astral Rodent Charm? Interesting. What is this? This small charm is a wooden carving of what looks like a little fuzzy rat with a tiny snout. 4M is scratched carefully into the bottom. -2 intelligence, but +4 strength, which doesn't improve us at all, and an AC bonus. If I drop it, it actually doesn't do any sort of change. Still, it's not something I need, so I'm going to sell it. Let's move on. See what else we can see and explore. Something is going on nearby. Oh. The heck is this? Come to enjoy the festivities? What do you mean by that? A few of our teachers died in the coup, supporters of the headmistress. The supervisor of this golem lab just so happened to be one of them. A terrible shame. Mistress Rahema was a strong and capable wizard. I am glad she stood up for my mother, but her death is a loss for the Academy. And here we are, with all of these spare golems Nephris brought us, and no instructors to put them to good educational use. Shame, really. Mistress Rahema always said that the best way to learn about something was to examine its insides. So I got to thinking, we could sure see the insides of these golems faster if we made them smash each other open in single combat. So now we build golems and they destroy each other, and I make money on the side by taking wagers. Can I get in on the action? I thought you'd never ask. You sure can. Build up a golem of your own and you're welcome to enter it in the competition. Just come talk to me when you've got a golem built and I'll set you up with a match for a reasonable fee. It'd be unreasonable, but I make a lot more money by fixing side bets. What do I need to do to build a golem of my own? Oh, there's a workbench back in the corner there with an extra hammer that's custom made for golem craft. You want to bring a bunch of spare parts over to that table, you could assemble a golem there. A golem requires a head, torso, arms, and legs, naturally, but it also needs the essence of a spirit to power it. Put those 5 components together, you've got yourself a golem. Any of the junk around here is fair game if you want to use it, but you might be better off hunting up better golem parts if you want to contend for the championship. I'm also trying to find out some information on the headmistress. The former headmistress, you mean? Not much left to find out, except maybe the number of pieces her body burst into when Ahriman wasted her. Wouldn't you agree, former Mistress Sophia? revolting troll cyst. I'll tear your organs out one by one and petrify your tears as you beg for death. You'll get the same treatment from me and worse if you don't show some respect. Thank you for backing me up. My mother deserves respect even in death. This little wretch ought to be shown the wages of a careless word. Hey, easy there! I was just repeating what I heard. You know us kids. We're like sponges when we overhear teacher gossip. Yeah, anyway, I wouldn't know anything else about it. It all happened in the tower. We're not allowed up there. What I do know about is making money, and I bet I can make some for you. Interested? Absolutely. Okay, we already know about this. Farewell. So, we can make ourselves a golem.
Pieces of golems. I was always curious how such things were made.
Indeed. And what is this? Construct girdle? Designed to mimic the power and resilience of the most well-crafted golem, this belt grants the wearer tremendous strength and resistance to strikes on even the most critical areas. Unfortunately, this item also has the tendency to duplicate a golem's weaknesses as well, slowing the wearer down a great deal and making their skin brittle, rock-like, and more vulnerable to certain types of attacks. Plus 12 strength is very impressive. And immunity to paralysis and sneak attacks. The dexterity penalty and the bludgeoning I don't like. That said, interesting that I'm not getting the penalty there. I'm going to hold on to this, because I think I know somewhere I can use it. That said, let's see. Golem. And we have a golem head. There's a bunch of students. And here we have golem arms. And a hammer of golem craft. That's just a golem head. This golem head is of solid construction and dutiful craftsmanship. Unfortunately, from the looks of it, that craftsmanship took place thousands of years ago, and the head has been subject to a lot of weathering since. And you managed to salvage 2 golem arms out of a pile of good junk golem parts. Here's the thing, though. We already have, from our explorations and rummaging about, 3 pieces of golem items that are actually useful. Shocking golem arms, which do more damage and have an enhancement bonus. Swift golem legs, which give it more dodge and haste. And a weather-resistant golem torso, which gives immunity to various elements. And I believe we'll be able to find more. We're not going to need these golem arms, but this is what it needs. We're not going to be able to directly control the golem, I don't think. But fortunately, because of this, we'll be able to do more. That said, I'm going to go hunting and see if I can find more better equipment. Although the ones we have are pretty damn good. Alright, we've got a room here. Let's see what's inside. Ah, more golem things. Golem legs and golem torso. These are the kind of legs a golem would use for standing, walking, and jumping. Possibly hopping as well. This golem chest is a ramshackle affair, chipped and eroded away in places. It's covered with rust deposits and others. It's a long way past its prime if it had one to begin with. We don't need either of those. While I would love to take part in this, I think we're going to go searching around and rummaging through other things first. Still, it is interesting. Huh, an open door. Ah, this leads down to the instructor's quarters. Okay, good to know. Well, let's take a look in this room here. Oh, more students to kill. And I can't attack them because they're all... Come on, I want you to attack me. Do something. Fine, I guess I can kill this vampire warlock. Hey, there you are. Now you're actually attacking us. Now we can kill you. Thank you. That was annoying. And there we go. Doesn't look like there's anything else in here. Let's keep hunting. Another room in the corner over here. Master Atabe. It's not a name we were supposed to know of. The Arcane Triad is your greatest ally when working with souls. You're disrupting your class. Either take your seat or get out. Okay. Master Atabe, I don't believe we have anything to do with you, so we'll leave you be. Huh. It almost looks like there's supposed to be a room in the middle there. Interesting. Alright, we've got another room over here. Ah. Okay, we have a cauldron with Grips of Gond.
This is the workshop of Master Porosek. He animates golems of wood and clay. One wonders why he can't build a golem to clean this place.
Good question. These pair of gloves once belonged to Raj Alek, a master craftsman. Raj was so in tune with the art that it impressed Gond himself. After his death, Raj's one masterful skill was then passed on to his gloves with the help of Gond's blessing. Massive bonuses to crafting, but that doesn't matter, and an alchemist's workshop and a forge. Alright, let's speak with Master Porosek.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Master Porosek. It's a pleasure to see you again.
It is good to see you also, Mistress Sophia. Are you well?
Not exactly. My mother's absence and Araman's takeover of the Academy. Coming home has not been as joyous as I would have hoped.
Oh, I'm sorry, I had forgotten. My work occupies my mind so.
I would expect nothing less from you than an unfailing devotion to your studies. I'm very pleased to see you alive.
Do you need something from me?
I'm trying to find out what Nephris was doing before she died.
The headmistress. When I see her, she is always working. She does many experiments, mostly in her tower, but some down here. She has that one with the methods around the corner. Have you seen it?
No.
I find it fascinating. You should look if you are interested in souls. It's on the left as you exit my study here. It overlaps a little with my work. If it works, she'll be the first person to rejoin a soul that has been split.
Huh. What else was she doing?
I have seen her in the instructor's quarters from time to time. It's usually when class is in session. She doesn't live there. I think she just has more experiments there and needs their space.
What kind of experiments?
We have similar interests. She approaches them differently, but she heard of my work and arranged for me to work here so we might share ideas. When we talk, it's about altering souls, splitting them, reassembling them, moving them, replicating them. Most of what we try hasn't been done. She works in her tower mostly, so I don't know about her progress. Usually she just drops by to compare notes.
You don't sound like a normal golem.
I'm not one, not really. My mind and soul were transferred to this body. I wanted to be able to work with heat, but still use my hands. Clay can take a lot of heat.
What do you do here?
Huh? Oh, I work. Sometimes they ask me to teach, but mostly I study. My background is in crafting. I want to apply it to souls. Most of my work fails, but there have been breakthroughs, so they let me stay.
Huh. And nothing in that forge. No idea if that has anything to do with anything. Okay. There's a room there, and there's a room down here. I guess we can start down here. May as well. Then we'll come back north. What have we got in here? More students to kill? No. What about that? Can you duplicate us all? Mistress Zerzura. Atsu, what do you think? No. And why is that? It loses fidelity in the replication process. The only way to keep the qualities of a soul pure is to split them off of the original, rather than duplicate them. Huh. Excuse me, I'm in the middle of a lesson. As you say. Anything of note in here? Anhur's hand, a falchion. Brought over from his former world and once wielded by the Mulhorandi god Anhur's favorite captain, this blade fell from its wielder's hand when they were slain fighting the Imaskiri that enslaved the people of Mulhorand.
Though the Mulhorandi eventually won their freedom and the Imiskiri Empire fell, this blade was passed on to those who would become oppressors themselves, the Thayans. Impressive weapon. Sadly, we're not a falchion. So let's say I have a soul and I split it. Which piece retains the memories? Moswin, you look like you know. I thought I did, but now I'm not sure. Why is that? Well, wouldn't the memories be in both? Interesting. Explain. Memory exists independent of a soul, but may imprint itself throughout a soul if the memory is strong enough. Huh. So the same memory might find its way into both parts after the split, or it might just exist in one. And it might be stronger in one than it is in the other. But given its independence, unless it is erased, memory will continue to bind the two pieces together, even after the split. Take heed, class. Erase those memories carefully, or you'll have some very disoriented homunculi when you implant the split souls in tomorrow's lab. There's a lot of talk about souls here. I didn't really expect this to be so, well, soul-focused. It's curious. Oh boy, this is a big room. Before I do, let's take a look in this room, because I have a feeling that's going to be a big one. Up! The headmistress is dead. The ban on killing visitors is lifted. Which I imagine means there's also a lift on the ban of killing students. Sadly, I can't kill you because you got that spell off. Which, fine, you're protected. Weighted gold bombs. Wow, that's quite a thing. And now you're gonna die. Easy. Weighted golems. Plus 3 enhancement bonus, 5 damage, knockdown bonus feat. That actually could also be useful instead of the arms that we have. Still, nice. Let's take a look in here. And there's a soul housing here? Huh. Cell kit. No, this can't be right. Where did I lose it? Lost something? Maybe I can help find it. Oh, I doubt it. I lost the thread of my proof here. I have to have goofed a few steps back, but I'm not seeing where. I'm trying to solve this challenge problem that Headmistress Nephris left open to all of us. It's theoretically impossible, but she says she managed to do it herself. Why are you working on an impossible task? It's what we do here. Nephris taught us that a critical mind puts us above the laws of men and gods. She used to say that laws are formed by the arrogant and presumptuous, and our work here is a message to them that such arrogance will always be questioned by those with minds and wills of their own. So to answer your question, it's only an impossible problem until I find the answer. Are you aware that Nephris is dead? I am, and I'm very disappointed. I'd hoped to study more closely with her. But that's business in Thay, you get used to it. Meanwhile, now that she's gone, if I can solve this problem, I'd be the only person in the whole school to get it. What is the problem? Gonna give it a try, huh? Well, I can't say I like your odds, but they're probably as good as anybody's. Except me, I'm way ahead. The problem is this. Mephits, as a species, tend to move and intermix chaotically. If you had a room of fire mephits next to a room of ice mephits with an open door between them, in time they would distribute themselves evenly. Both rooms would have equal numbers of ice and fire mephits. The natural flow of their movements is always from order to disorder. The problem is to do the reverse, to resegregate the two rooms such that one has only ice mephits and one has only fire mephits. I believe I understand. There's a similar thing in science, I believe. Something... I don't remember the exact terms, but I have heard something like this before. But I suppose I understand. How am I supposed to do that? Naturally, they're uncooperative. Nephris claims to have done it simply by opening the door between the rooms at the proper times. When it opens, the nearest mephit to the door on either side will switch places. I'm still working on my strategy on paper, given the rate and direction each mephit tends to move.
I feel like the answer is just beyond my reach. What happens when the problem is solved? Well, there's the prestige, of course. That goes without saying. But Headmistress Nephris developed a way to harness the pent-up energy that the solution state creates. In this room are 4 fragments of a soul that Nephris split apart long ago as part of an experiment. A soul can be split, but it cannot be restored by fusing the resulting fragments. One direction, like the methods. It was the Headmistress's hope that she could funnel the energy from one impossibility into the other. That is, in undoing the flow of the methods, she might be able to undo the splitting of the soul. I don't know if she ever got it to work, but I've heard she devoted decades to the research. Seems shaky to me, but that was never an obstacle for the Headmistress. How do I operate the experiment? Oh, that's the easy part. All you need to do is pull a lever. That will open and shut the door, allowing exactly one method through from either side. Think I'll give it a try. Interesting. So if I pull this...
Disgusting
Huh.
creatures with shallow, filthy dreams.
This method's disgusting creatures with shallow, filthy dreams. So it's specifically the ones closest to the doors, and they move so chaotically it's hard to control it. We've got 4 and 2 at the moment. So if we could somehow keep it... What's this obelisk? What are these obelisks? Curious. There's nothing special about this object. I think I have an idea, though. If these methods happen to get close. Now that I think about it, there is also the possibility of just killing them. You know, the brute force method. Perhaps we should come back and try this later. There's a little bit of time left, and I want to see if I can take a look up in the Headmistress's tower. I feel like there could be some information there. Let's take a look in the tower. Well, we found it. There's a fireplace here. With a singed scrap of paper. What does it say? You found this burnt piece of paper in the ashes of Nephris's fireplace. Though very little of the original paper is readable, it looks as though the message was a short one anyway. It reads simply, "Seal the door." Seal the door. This is...
Was my mother's private sanctum. I hate the notion of Ahriman staying here. I'd rather burn my mother's books than have Ahriman read a single page of them.
There's another room over here, it seems. And that goes to the instructor's quarters. Ah, a lab journal. This thick volume appears to have been cast aside during the apparent ransacking of Nephris's tower in the aftermath of Ahriman's coup. Unfortunately, there is nothing in here that obviously points to how Nephris planned to contact Merkul. Its pages are mostly filled with a cryptic scientific shorthand that was possibly only readable to Nephris. There is, however, a legible table of contents. Turn to Replication. This section contains dozens of pages worth of equations, or rather one equation that varies slightly each time it is rewritten. The equations are complete gibberish to your eyes and yield no additional insight. I think my mother was attempting to solve a brutally different equation, and she couldn't get either side to balance. Several pages after the equation are blank, and you find a remarkably thin key concealed in a hollow carved into these pages. Take the key. Okay. What about division? Certain elements of the myriad formulae in this section have been circled or otherwise highlighted, and there is one final equation at the section's end that is circled in its entirety. Interleaved with the scientific scratchworks are sets of data, the results of experiments, perhaps.
The names of the subjects in these experiments have been scribbled out beyond recognition. And synthesis? By far the longest section of the journal, there is evidence here of hundreds of experiments on the subject. The experiments do not appear to have gone well. Nephris noted failure at the conclusion of each one. These notes tend to grow more despondent later in the section. Her scrawl is larger and more volatile, and the messages themselves indicate growing frustration. The last experiment contains a schematic for the layout of a pair of rooms divided by a wall of bars, a single door between them. Its results are crossed out haphazardly. Below them she has written a single phrase. What else? Sounds like that one is related to, well, the experiment we just saw. Judging from the blast marks around it, the door here has clearly been subject to a barrage of destructive magic spells, but it remains sturdy as ever. 4 hemispherical sockets have been bored into the door itself, apparently by its maker. There's nothing else resembling a keyhole anywhere on the door. An inscription has been engraved across the center at eye level. It reads as follows. 4 wayward souls, 4 incomplete, unique in flaw, with fates foregone. 4 hidden now, each place discreet. Assemble here, advance the pawn. Imitated and damned, imagined and splintered. 4 reunited souls, the door thus re-entered. There's nothing else of interest. So we need to find 4 souls. Obtaining 4 particular souls referred to in the inscription is the most likely means by which you'll be able to open the door. Imitated and damned, imagined and splintered. Interesting. Doesn't appear to be much else, but there may be some information. Also, there's a soul housing here with a soul. I'm going to investigate what this soul is. Oh no, it's actually completely empty. So the only other option here, I guess we could try and solve this. I have an idea to do it. If I just keep talking to this one... Oh, what the... I didn't intend to do that. I mean, now that I look at this, it's noticeably easier to get it to go where you want now that it's stopped moving. I mean, now that I look at that, yeah, I guess. Kaji, do you mind? Well, this is a crude way to do it. Kill all the methods and then just drop them off. And that did it. And that brought something up here. Fragmented soul. How in the name of Zastarn did you do that? That was incredible! It's a shame about the soul, though. It looks like it almost totally fused together, but not quite. You can still kind of see the individual fragments. You'll be the envy of every student at the Academy when word gets out, which means you'll almost certainly be killed. Good luck with that. Thank you. This soul was split and then melded back together, the latter as a result of your success with the method experiment. However, dimly through the housing you can see several discrete sources of light where you would expect one continuous source. As with the methods, restoring a meaningful order to a set of objects whose connection and coherence has been completely severed seems to defy some natural physical law, and may be preordained to failure. Well, we managed to get one of the souls, and I believe that's one of the 4 keys we need. So, yay! I do wonder if I can use this soul in the viewing receptacle. I kind of want to see. I'm going to test it, and if it works, we'll find out. If not, well, yeah. So, if I put this in here, what happens? The voice is nearly impossible to understand. Everything it says is heavily garbled in one way or another. Perhaps physical deterioration has made it unreadable. Okay, the answer is nothing happens. Well, I am going to end this episode here because it's gone on long enough. Next episode, I'm going to speak with Master Jaffe, see if he has any more information on things. Then we're going to go down into the instructor's quarters because it's the last area we have to go to. That'll be in the next episode, so until then, I'm Chester44, that is Travis Ignam, Sophia, Kaylin, Ganiev, and Kaji. This has been a Let's Play of Neverwinter Nights 2, Mask of the Betrayer, and I shall see you all next time.